Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. I'm Madison, and this is Melanie, and today we're going to be talking about healthy changes for the New Year's.
There you go.
Our overview for today is we're going to go into a reflection over last year, 2021. And then we're going to go over building healthy habits and kind of the details and maybe a little key points on how to ditch old habits and build new ones. And then we have a whole bunch of ideas for healthy changes this year.
Yeah, so kind of like Madison mentioned, we wanted to start off with a little bit of a self-reflection, kind of seeing the type of thoughts and patterns or hopes that we have for this year compared to last year. If any of them has occurred or have changed at all, maybe you have the same mindset or like the same lifestyle changes that you want to make. So we wanted to, talk about self-reflection, and we did find some really good quotes that talk about self-reflection. And I like the one that says the journey into self-love and self-acceptance must begin with self-examination. And I find that to be so true because I've personally had a very tough 2021. I found out a lot about myself, some past childhood things that came up like now, and just it was a big year of self-reflection. And although it was very painful, I'm very grateful for it because I wouldn't have been able to make the changes that I'm making now and in this upcoming year had I not, self-reflected and really sat with those feelings and analyzed what was going on and like how certain changes or certain behaviors weren't okay then, but I can fix them and things of that nature. But yeah, we wanted to just incorporate these so you guys maybe could see them or read them, maybe they resonate with you. And yeah, it's just like a little quote. And then right in, so now that we always like to incorporate chats, like so we can kind of get the conversation flowing, see where your head's at, see what you have to say. I always like a good discussion, a good dialogue. So we wanted to ask you all if you can answer it in the chat, or you don't have to, but what 3 words describe your past year, or maybe what your favorite memory was, who supported you the most, and what challenges did you overcome? And of course, you don't have to answer all of them. You can just pick like one. But if you want to answer in the chat, we can leave it there. I'll leave it. You can leave it whenever you want. Like it doesn't have to be right now. And then maybe at the end we can share. But I just we wanted to ask these questions and kind of see where you guys were at. So I'll leave that for a little bit and then we can like move on.
Okay, habits. Habit. This is the definition I found off Google. It says a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. So when we think about habits, we have good habits and bad habits. And these are a few of the good ones that kind of just popped up into my head. So exercising regularly, never giving up, practice gratitude. I thought of like journaling, managing money wisely, get on a good schedule. Those are good, healthy habits. Some bad habits we might have is common ones: biting nails, saying bad words, swinging into a fast food restaurant, drinking too much alcohol, watching reality TV, way too much. We all like to watch the Kardashians sometimes to relax and maybe have fun, but whenever we drink too much or watch too much of one thing, it can become unhealthy. So habit questions from last year. Has anyone, I just saw a spell check. Sorry, everybody. Has anyone developed a good or bad habit over 2021? I think I've developed good and bad habits. I'm sure everybody else has too. Old habits you'd like to break? New habits you'd like to start?
I do. I want to start eating more vegetables this year. I've been doing that. I started like slowly at the end of like the year, like December, November, but I actually want to like make it an everyday thing where I incorporate them more. And I feel like it's an easy way to do like to change my diet without thinking of it in terms of, oh, I need to stop eating like cookies or like chips. And instead just be like, okay, well, I can add this and it's easier that way. But yeah, I think that's something I would like to start this year.
Oh, I see drinking less coffee. I need to do that because I love coffee.
Oh yes, no same. I mean, I'm drinking it right now. Thank you guys for sharing. My computer is glitching today. It's like not wanting to work with me. There we go.
For breaking old habits, it takes on average 21 days to break an old habit. And if you ask me, those are a rough 21 days. Here's some 3 key pointers that I found for breaking a habit is identifying the habit. And it's not just like, oh, okay, I need to start biting my nails, but it's identifying, okay, why do I break my nail? Why do I bite my nails? What are my trigger points? What are my weaknesses within this habit? And then finding an accountability partner. Hey, Melanie, I'm really trying to break this habit. I see you at work all the time. If you see me biting my nails and I don't realize it, will you tell me? So it's having someone to back you up on breaking the habit. And then using a reward system. So if I don't bite my nails for, let's say, 2 weeks, then I'm going to treat myself and go get a manicure. Or I'll just go find a new color at Walmart and I can paint my nails and do a at-home manicure.
Oh yes, the treadmill one's good. I literally started for like 2 weeks and then I stopped. So I agree with that. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I've heard of a rubber band trick. Have you
Oh
guys
my god.
heard of that? My mom
Yeah.
used to put a rubber band on my wrist when I was younger to not bite my nails.
Uh-huh.
My mom used to put hot sauce on my thumb because I couldn't stop like sucking my thumb.
Yeah.
And she like tried everything and then I still did it, but I eventually stopped, luckily. But yeah, it was not a good habit, not a good time.
All right, developing a new habit. It takes an average of 66 days, give and take. It was like 18 to 88 days for a new habit to become automatic. So this is whenever you're not thinking about it. I'm not even thinking about biting my nails. I'm just going about my day, not biting my nails. Top 3 pointers for developing a new habit. Let's give an example for I'm wanting to work out. I want to get in a new habit of working out, exercising weekly. So I'm going to first find a pattern within my day. So if I work from this time to this time, will I most likely wake up in the morning to go work out? Or am I more active in the afternoon? So where would the new habit fit good in my day? And then be persistent. All right. Mornings are best for me. I might be a little tired, but in order for it to become a habit, I'm going to stay persistent and I'm going to go every single morning, or every single morning I decide I want to go, like where it fits in.
Also, a good tip I found, sorry, Madison, I did not mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
I heard when it like comes to like working out, even having the mindset of just like 10 minutes, like thinking of it like that instead of like, oh my God, like I have to go for like an hour or like something like that. Just being like, you know what, I'm gonna go. And then when I get there, I'll do this for like 10 minutes. Like doing like little increments kind of helps me. And then next thing you know, I'm like there for like an hour and a half. So I think it's just getting there. That's like the hard part for me, I would say, or like finding the time of the day. But if I just tell myself like, you know what, I'll just go for like a 20-minute, I'll just do 20 minutes or something. And then next, you know, like that helps me. And then over time. But yeah, that's just a tip I found useful when it comes to like working out specifically or just being more active because you don't have to necessarily go to the gym. You can just go for a walk,
Go for
jump
a walk.
rope, whatever, you know?
And I didn't mean to say go every day because I feel like I would get burnt out if I went every day.
Yeah.
And then also a good one for developing and breaking a habit is using a reward system. So what is something that I would enjoy having after working out consistently for, let's say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? What would be maybe a new gym bag or a new yoga mat, if that's the way you're going to work out? Or if you want to power walk, so maybe new walking shoes.
Yeah. But yeah, those are just some tips that Madison we found on like habits and breaking habits, you know, healthy versus unhealthy. I know it's a little bit hard. But we did also want to talk about, you know, redefining your goal from product to process. And I also wanted to add that, you know, a lot of the times it's like I'm like a very like science person. I like to know like the whys and stuff. And I have talked about habits before, and I found that there was like this diagram. I should have been put it here. I didn't think about it, but it was, or actually, maybe I could show you guys. And it's like a very good like visual. Here, oh no, it's on my personal one. Shoot. Oh wait, here it is. Yes. Okay. Sorry, this is like an impromptu kind of thing. How can I make this work?
Maybe move out there. Very good.
There we go.
Nice job.
Here we go. So this has really helped me. So how habits work. And then the article that I read, it was like, so for example, they use like phones and like scrolling before bed. And that like for me, that's a problem because I'll like need to go to bed, but I can't because I'm like, well, I haven't been on my phone all day. Like I want to go on TikTok or something, or like what's going on with the world. So I'll like start doing it. So my cue would be when I get in my bed, right? And I'm like, my nightstand's right there, grab my phone, and then the routine is scrolling and the reward is feeling connected to others, right? Like socially connected. So whenever you think about your habit that you're trying to break, you kind of like, it's good to think about, okay, what's my cue? What's the routine and what's the reward? What is really the need that I want, which is feeling connected, right? So instead of doing that, I could like do like actually connect with somebody in real life, or maybe instead of having my phone there, I could leave it like in the kitchen or something and have an alarm clock for my alarm, or just finding other ways to feel connected to others instead of like scrolling. That way you can like actually get a good night's rest. But I just thought this was like a good little diagram that they use to break down kind of how habits work and like how you can identify what you really need and trying to find other methods to fulfilling that need. But yeah, okay, moving back to the presentation.
I like it. It's very simple.
Yeah, I really like it. And also like thinking positive instead of negative, because obviously our brains work with positive interactions. So when you think of it in terms of breaking habits or trying to change your life or have a healthier lifestyle, it's kind of like I mentioned about like adding more vegetables instead of taking away. So it's the same concept. You want to think about what can I add to my life that's going to make it better, instead of thinking like, oh, I have to take this away or I have to do this to be better, you know?
Yes.
And that's this one right here. I'll show you guys. Work towards positive goals. Oh, wow, I should have kept it. Oh, wow. Okay, that's great. See, and it says like, and it just even thinking in terms like that really helps. So I will stop eating junk food. It's very hard to think that. And then especially when you like cave or maybe you eat a burger or something, you're much more likely to feel super down on yourself and criticize and maybe give up and be like, you know what? Oh, whatever, like I'll just try again next year, or I'll just try next month, versus saying I will start eating healthy and you start incorporating it. And if you don't necessarily eat healthy that day, you can be like, okay, well, I can try for the next meal, or I can try tomorrow. You know, it's just trying to change the way you think about it really will help you in the long run.
Yes, progress, not perfection.
Great. Anyways, and I'm back. Oh, there's my great. Yeah. So when it comes to, trying to have a healthier lifestyle or healthy changes, just anything that you want to add to your life, it's always about framing the way you think about it, right? Framing goals in a helpful way. A lot of the times people make resolutions at the start of a new year when you really can do it at any time. You don't have to necessarily wait for a new year, but there's nothing wrong with doing it if you want to do it at the start of the new year. But yeah, so what they were trying to say in the article that we found was that they're focused on a single long-term product rather than a process. So for example, with weight loss, you can say, oh, I want to lose 15 pounds. And that's something like that's a product, right? It's a single thing instead of thinking in terms of, oh, I want to make a complete lifestyle change. I want to be healthier, or I want to eat more healthy food. I want to, you know, I want to start reading more books or like just anything, right? Can apply to anything. You have to make sure you realize that this is something you're going to have to do. It's a process, it's something you're going to have to do every day and work at and add to your life instead of just a single thing that you're trying to accomplish. And that really helps because whenever you don't meet the expectation that you have set for yourself, it's a little bit like I just mentioned, like a little bit demoralizing and it makes you upset, like, oh my gosh, like I didn't do it. And then that just sets the tone for the rest of your journey. And more likely than not, you are not going to fulfill that. So it's important to just even there, just accept that it's going to be a journey and it's going to be a process instead of being like, this is what I want to achieve. And, that's it. And like a black and white type of thinking. And then to that same end, why did I move myself? Building trust in yourself is always going to be, it's going to be very helpful as well. It's going to be essential almost. A lot of small successes is what builds up our belief in ourselves, our self-efficacy. It's central to changing our behavior. That comes down to even when we're young, if you have developed a good sense of industry and a good sense of, again, self-efficacy, you believe that, what, I can accomplish what I want to accomplish. I can do it. I can do whatever I want if I set my mind to it. So again, reframing your goals in a positive way, kind of like the theme that we've been trying to instill in you and everyone listening, is really what's going to help you add to your life and accomplish all those goals that you have for yourself and the way you envision your life to be. Again, with the example that we're using now, the losing weight, focus on what you want to add to your life. That's why I have here, like, make a goal to eat more vegetables instead of what you're taking away, kind of like I've already mentioned. Self-monitoring also is going to be vital to reaching these long-term goals. Journaling, taking notes, a calendar, just documenting that will help you because of course it's not just going to be so easy to do it. Some days will be harder than others. Maybe someday you just have a really busy day and you're tired. It's okay as long as you keep going. There's nothing wrong with not sticking to it 100% as long as you're working towards and you pick back up where you left off, right? And I think a lot of people forget that sometimes. And it's something very simple, but I think very important. So just remembering that it's okay to, mess up, but just keep going. And then lastly, we have overcoming obstacles. Progress is not linear. Again, another central theme that we've been saying, like Madison mentioned, a habit takes about 21 days to form and then about like 18 to 88 days to break. So obviously it's not linear. Like I just mentioned, it's going to be different every day. You don't know what's going to come. Life is pretty crazy. You just never know what is going to happen, especially with, this virus and like the new variant that's happening. We probably, all of us did not suspect that. It's now been 2 years and that's crazy. Like I was 23 when the pandemic started. Now I'm 25. Like what? Like I blinked and it's just, it's been crazy. So just remembering that again, it's okay for things to come about and don't necessarily think that you're not making progress because it doesn't look like a straight line, right? I think that's also really helped me remember, like even in my healing journey with, myself and how I mentioned I had a rough year, just remembering like, you know what, it's not linear. I'm going to have some bad days, but what can I learn from that situation to help me the next day? And just thinking like that has really helped me like ground myself and be like, I can do this. But yes. So another good one is not thinking in black and white terms, kind of like I just been saying, making sure you're flexible to the way that you talk to yourself and handle the situation or whatever you want to add. Like I just said, change is not linear. Everyone's path is going to be different. You know what I hate the most about weight loss is that like men can lose weight so easily and it makes me so angry. I'm like, that's not fair, And so then I compare myself, I'm like, you did that in 3 months. I'm pissed. Like, I can't even do that. But then I to remind myself, like, okay, it's literally comes down to science, but whatever. We won't get into that. So yeah, just that's a really good example. Like not everyone's journey is going to be the same and everyone's going to be different, but just sticking to it and remembering you're doing this for you and not for others. And like I've been mentioning again, if you miss a few days in a row, it's important to get right back to it instead of waiting for another week, just because it'll really steer you off and like make you forget like what your goal was, right? So yeah, those are just a really good tips that I found about like creating new lifestyle changes, breaking habits and all that good stuff. But let's see, medicine. Let's see. Consistency, yes, exactly. You had me at issue.
I love that one. You had me at
Yes,
shoot.
me too. No, seriously though. Okay. And then Madison is going to get into some healthy changes or ideas that, maybe you want to change some stuff, but you're not really sure, like, what can I add to my life or,
So just a few ideas. I'm gonna start reading them off, but ideas for changes for 2022. We'll start over here. Prioritize self-care. And what does that look like to you though? It's really breaking down what is self-care to you. So it's going into it, making a list. What can I do to prioritize self-care? Is it taking an hour? Is it taking a few hours out of the week? Move your body. Less time on electronics. So the example that we had earlier is having a time limit or maybe getting into a routine of having specific time period at night to get involved with social media and then putting it down for the rest of the afternoon. Save more money, making that I have a budget listing in my new day planner and I'm so excited to start using it to save more money and really break down and see where my money is going to. Go to bed earlier and wake up earlier. That's always a good one. Quitting unhealthy habits. Read more. I have a new list of books that I want to read for 2022. And to keep me accountable, my sister has a few books too. So we're going to do like a mini, just 2-person book reading club.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Meet new people, pick up a new hobby, stay organized, cook new recipes, be proactive on your doctor visits. Yes.
Oh my God, I have to share. It's not relevant to the presentation, but speaking of cooking new recipes, there's this YouTube channel that of this woman who tries a new recipe every day from like a different part of like the like countries, and it's like so amazing. I wish I could remember, but that just really reminded me of like I really want to try different foods. Like sometimes I'll be hungry, I'm like I'm just tired of eating the same stuff all the time. And so
Yeah.
just really getting out there, but it's also hard. Like I live in San Marcos, like there's not that many um different restaurants. It's kind of like your same like American chains, the chain restaurants. But yeah, I really like that one. And if you ever like go on YouTube or want to see, just I wish I could remember her name. Maybe if I remember, I'll send it to Bethany and she can like send it to you guys. But she has a really cool channel, and it's so interesting seeing like the recipes that other countries have for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And yeah. Okay, sorry, Madison.
No, you're fine. That was it. If anyone wants to share for any changes that they want to do starting now, Happy New Year. Feel free to share.
Well, these tips, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, these tips and ideas have been very helpful. Thank you for helping me to just review, because I've started a new health plan as far as eating and my choices for food and getting more exercise and so forth. My sisters and I were sharing some ideas of remembrances of our mother who died several years ago, but we were just talking about the fun and funny things we remember about our mom and things that happened. And one of my sisters said, you know, our mother was always thinking of other people and she didn't take time for herself. And we think that all of us chimed in, we think that a lot of that DNA passed on to us, you know, and I said, I think that's one reason that I have found it difficult to stay on a life plan for eating and the weight I'd like to lose. Just other people and things, events, and everything else gets in the way. So that's one thing I'm trying to focus on, just that idea that you brought up about self-care and prioritizing. I'm a pastor, and so you might know that most of my work is extended to other people. And I just don't normally take care for myself. So that's something that I really want to work on. And something I mentioned to my husband when we were talking about goals, and I said, one bad habit I've gotten into is I do so much work at my desk here at home and at church. I always felt like I had to have something here to eat. You know, a little bowl of something, a drink of something, you know, a snack, or, you know, working at my desk with something to eat. And that I do have my coffee, but that's something that I'm going to change. I'm not going to bring food to my desk. So that's just one little change. But anyway, thank you all for sharing this. It's been very helpful.
Oh, thank you.
I'm glad to hear. And oh yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So last year, my husband and I started something that I thought was helpful for the both of us, and we'll continue to do it again this year. Is we would select one place or activity per month that we've both had never done before. And so example, like we learned archery, and it doesn't have to cost money. It doesn't have to cost money. It might be going to a park we've never been before and taking the dog with us. Or another month we did, now this one cost, it was chicken and pickle. We had never been before, and we played pickleball. Yeah, so sometimes it may cost money, sometimes, majority of the time it does not. We went to the Guadalupe State Park one month and spent the day and along the river, and we had never been there before. Mm-hmm. So try to pick one thing per month that both of us have never experienced, and I think we're going to continue that this year.
Good idea.
So awesome.
Very nice.
That's like, I feel like it really builds like the intimacy too. It's a very good like connection thing, and I'm really big on that. So I might incorporate that with my partner. That's great.
I just wrote it down too.
No, yeah, I'm like, oh, that's such a good idea. Yeah. Does anyone else have anything they're going to start this year? Or maybe continue? Okay. Well, I appreciate everyone for sharing and joining us. And I really do hope that me and Madison, you know, reminded you of some things that you already knew, or, you know, some things resonated with you that will really help with your journey. And I hope that everyone has a good new year and that everything that they want for them this year, you know, comes true.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you.
Y'all too. Thank you so much.
Of course. But yeah, that's all we have for you guys. And I hope you have a good day.
Thank you.